Starfield didn't resonate with gamers because it was just too sterile. When a game like Starfield launches with massive hype and anticipation, expectations run sky high. As Bethesda's first new IP in decades, Starfield promised an expansive universe, deep role-playing elements, and a thrilling space exploration experience. Yet, despite the build-up, many gamers found themselves underwhelmed, citing a pervasive sense of sterility that permeated the entire experience. This cold, clinical feeling stripped away the emotional engagement and organic immersion that fans often crave in open-world or space RPGs, resulting in a disconnect between the game and its audience. One of the fundamental issues that contributed to this sterility was Starfield's overly polished and sanitized aesthetic. The environments, while vast and detailed in terms of technical design, often felt lifeless and devoid of the chaotic imperfections that lend authenticity to a world. Unlike previous Bethesda titles known for their rich, sometimes messy worlds brimming with stories and quirks, Starfield's planets and stations seemed too clean and uniform. This created a sense of detachment, as if the universe was designed more as a functional backdrop rather than a living, breathing place. Players found themselves wandering through visually sterile corridors and surface terrains that lacked the grit and randomness that invite curiosity and discovery. Moreover, the narrative and character interactions contributed to the sterile sensation. Starfield's dialogue and character development, while functional, often lacked emotional depth and nuance. In RPGs, players seek connections with characters that feel real, flawed, and compelling. However, Starfield's NPCs and story arcs sometimes came across as generic or scripted, failing to spark the player's investment. This mechanical approach to storytelling amplified the sense of a universe that was methodically constructed but emotionally barren. The absence of dynamic, unpredictable moments further made the game feel like a well-oiled machine, rather than an adventure filled with surprise and wonder. Gameplay mechanics also played a role in reinforcing the sterile atmosphere. The space exploration elements such as flying between planets, resource gathering, and ship customization were technically sound but often repetitive and uninspired. Many players noted that the activities felt more like checkboxes to be ticked rather than engaging challenges or meaningful quests. The lack of emergent gameplay, unexpected events or player-driven stories meant that the gameplay loop became monotonous. Without a sense of risk, discovery, or meaningful consequence, the gameplay loop felt hollow, deepening the impression of a sterile experience that lacked soul. Another dimension of sterility was the absence of a vibrant player-driven community influence or a living ecosystem. Successful open-world games often benefit from their worlds reacting dynamically to player choices, environmental factors, or random events that give a feeling of a world in flux. Starfield, by comparison, presented a universe that felt static and predictable. The planets rarely felt interconnected in a way that suggested a broader, evolving galaxy. This rigidity sapped the thrill of exploration and made each discovery feel less impactful. Players weren't uncovering secrets or influencing a larger narrative. They were merely moving through predetermined stages with limited variation. Technical performance and design choices, while mostly polished, also contributed subtly to the sterile vibe. The graphical style, with its clean lines and muted color palettes, favored realism but also gave the world a cold, clinical feel. While some appreciated this for its futuristic aesthetic, many found it too subdued, lacking the vibrancy and color that could have made planets feel diverse and alive. Additionally, the absence of detailed environmental storytelling, such as remnants of past civilizations, random encounters, or unique cultural markers, left many areas feeling interchangeable and forgettable. The universe was expansive but emotionally empty. Importantly, the sterile experience was not simply a matter of lacking content or scale. Starfield delivered on those fronts. The game offered a massive universe with countless planets, factions, and items. However, quantity alone could not mask the fundamental problem. The experience lacked texture and warmth. Players often cited that exploring a smaller, more chaotic world with rich stories felt more rewarding than traversing Starfield's immense but emotionally sparse galaxy. This mismatch between scale and emotional engagement meant that the game's breadth became a liability rather than a strength. In conclusion, Starfield's failure to resonate deeply with many gamers stems largely from its sterile design and atmosphere. The overly clean visuals, mechanical storytelling, repetitive gameplay, static world, and subdued environmental cues collectively produced a universe that felt more like a showcase of technology than a realm of adventure. While it excelled in technical ambition and scope, it missed the mark in crafting an immersive, emotionally compelling experience. For players craving a vibrant, unpredictable cosmos filled with personality and soul, Starfield's sterility ultimately kept them at arm's length.